All right, so for today in class, this was going to be today on the 22nd, and then also the 23rd, it would be the same lesson. The 22nd, it is a white day, and the 23rd is a red day. So what we ended up doing today is you guys read, so you should have already done that. And then we fill out this reflection sheet. So if you have this, great. If you don't, you can just do it on a separate sheet of paper. So what you're going to do is you're going to reflect on yourself as a reader. Where you're reflecting on free reading and how you're doing with that. A lot of your grading this year for Mrs. Othat and myself is we are going to grade you on your reflection and how you are doing as a learner in whatever it is that you are being working on. If it's a skill, if it's a topic, if it's a free reading, whatever it is. So we're going to work on reflection. So what you're going to end up doing, and if you don't have this paper, that's fine. Again, just put it on a separate sheet of paper. And then I'm going to have you go ahead and just make sure that your first and last name is on it. And then the reflection topic, I want you to put down free reading and then put today's date. And then what you are going to do is you're going to reflect on what is up here. It says free reading. So I only want you to focus on this box. And I want you to think, do I do that? So actually read for time given. If you do it, great. But I want you to explain why. Like, how does that work for you? What does it look like? That kind of thing. Maybe it doesn't work for you. Maybe you can go, yeah, I'm not actually reading. I get kind of tired. I get bored. I don't know what it is for you, but I want you to explain. I want you to be more specific than just saying yes or no. Okay, same thing for here. Have a book in class. So it's just being prepared for class, making sure that you have something to read when the class actually starts. If that's that you forgot a book, that you've at least found something or you've solved that problem before class starts. May that be getting a Scope magazine like this says, or going to the library. That's also something that you could talk about and say on your reflection. Fill out documentation sheet. So that's in your resource notebook on page 4. So I'll show you that real quick just to make sure that you remember that. Mine is not filled in because I don't fill mine in because I have all different classes, but yours should be filled in with the start page, end page, minutes read, that kind of thing. You should keep pretty good track as to what you're reading and when you're reading. That will be a really good thing to help you fill out this reflection. So if you're not filling it out, you may want to say, hey, I'm not filling it out. And maybe create some sort of plan for you to fill it out. Maybe just reading the board and making sure to look at my actual screen and go through those steps that are on there. Knowing how to choose books and working to try books that are different for you. So maybe that is, yes, I know all the books that I'm going to read because on page 2 and 3 in my Sandbox notebook, I have my maybe books. Maybe that's because you know that you can go to Amazon. You can go to search for books. And then you can also go to Sora, Overdrive, Destiny, all those different places. So if you know how to find different books, I want you to say that, yes, I do, and then just kind of talk about how you know, like what are the specific things that you know how to do. Okay, so that's the reflection piece. And again, if you need to pause at any point, so if you're going to go ahead and do your reflection now, go ahead and pause, and then you can hit play again for the next part. Okay, all right, so that's the reflection piece. The next thing that we did after that is we went to our Sandbox and we found this article that we did in class. If you have your notebook, awesome. If you do not have your notebook, you can go into Schoology and you can find this particular mentor text, if you need to reread it. But this is the one where it's Maya Penn, where she is basically recycling and using older materials to make that newer clothes and that kind of things. Okay, so that was that. And then what we ended up doing with this is we looked at this portion of it. And you guys took notes in your resource notebook. So I'm just showing you a lot of things. So if you have your notebook, awesome. If you don't have your notebook, it's okay. Because anything that I'm writing down, you can put on a separate sheet of notebook paper. And when you get back to school, you can tape it to that page. Okay, so this kind of stuff, you're going to make sure that you're writing that down. And then you'll bring it with you to school, and we'll tape it on this page underneath the article. All right, so you're also going to want to turn to page 31 in your resource notebook. And this is where you took notes with Mrs. Othat about what we're going to do with each mentor text that we use. This one may look a little bit different than what you have done. In yours, we're kind of revising and editing as we go, seeing what we like. So you may actually have PT and then AFF. So just know that yours may look a little bit different. But what we're going to do is I want you to put these things on a piece of paper or in your notebook behind that Maya Pen article. And this is what we talked about in class. So again, we have P, and P stands for purpose, and then T stands for topic. So we want to say the purpose was to inform about eco-friendly fashion. That's the topic. That's what it's about. Okay. The first A, that is for the audience. So your middle school. Author was a scope writer, and then F was it was just an article. So those are things we're going to kind of like go with each mentor text just to say, yep, this is what it is. And the awesome part about this is that the purpose and the topic, saying to inform about eco-friendly fashion, this is starting you off with your central idea or your main idea, which we're going to get into with reading for second quarter. So if we start doing this with all the mentor text, you should be like, it's a breeze to do central idea. All right. All right. So then after we did that in class, we went over to the next part of the page, which is the right-hand side. So that part was underneath the actual article, mentor text. And we put it underneath on the left-hand side of the 2-page spread, and then on the right-hand side of the 2-page spread. And again, if you don't have this, put it on a piece of paper, and you can tape it in here when you get here. We drew a line down the middle, and then we are basically putting it into a graphic organizer. Okay, so we have a problem and solution, because this whole article about the Maya Pen one, it's all about problem and solutions that were had. So as a class, we came up with these different things. So the problem is that there's fast fashion is polluting, which is clothes, the fast fashion, is polluting the planet. And so in order to solve that or have that solution, Maya Pen made eco-friendly clothes. She also reused old clothes to make new. And then she's also spreading the word to other fashion industries, as well as just other people in general, saying, hey, we got to help with this pollution. Okay, so again, you can pause at any point if you need to go ahead and just pause this and write down what we have. No matter what, if you have your notebooks or not, you should be able to do this, because if you don't have your notebook, put it on a separate sheet of paper, and then when you get back to class, you'll put it in the notebook. Okay, so pause if you need to, and then I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next thing that we did in class. All right, so the last thing that we did is we got one more mentor text. It's called this. It's called A Toilet on the Moon. And this is, and you may have a copy of it, maybe you don't. So if you do not have a copy of it, again, you can go into Schoology and find it. I'll show you that at the very end of the video, where you can go in and find those texts. Well, what I'm going to have you do with this is, if you have your Sandbox notebook, there's the bell. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. So if you have your Sandbox notebook with you, you can actually flip over to the next 2-page spread, and you can tape this in on the left-hand side of that 2-page spread. Okay, so that's what you'll end up doing. If you don't have this, you're going to have to ask me when you get back, and you can get it and put it on the next 2-page spread that you have. But then what I want you to do is I want you to read the article. You can also annotate as you kind of go along, maybe make some side notes saying, wow, that's really crazy, or oh my gosh, or whatever it is. So underline, circle, all that kind of stuff. So that's annotating. So you're going to read this article, annotate it, and then that's kind of all we did in class for the 22nd and the 23rd. So have all that, and then you will be caught up for us when you get back to school. All right, I'm going to go ahead and show you really quickly how to find the mentor text in Schoology. So give me just a second. I'm going to get to Schoology. So once you're in Schoology, you're going to go to your reading writing course. And inside the reading writing course, you're going to see this orange folder. And in this orange folder, when you open it up, and if one of them's not in here, I will get it on there soon. There it is. What you're going to do is you are going to be able to click on whichever one it is. So if you don't have the Maya Pen article and you don't want to reread it, you can click on this, and it's going to open up, and it's going to take you to that article so you can read it. Same thing for the Toilet on the Moon. If you don't have a copy of that, you're going to click on this, and you're going to open it, and you will read that. If you can't make annotations because you can't print it, do it on a separate sheet of paper. Just on a separate sheet of paper, just write down your thoughts as you're reading, and that's your annotation. Bring that to school with you, and we will put that into whatever we need to. Okay, so when you get back, make sure you check in with me and you show me that you've done all those things. Because again, in the in the absent folder that you're currently in, it should say, oh goodness, sorry. At the very end of it, it's going to tell you that you need to email me. Okay. So when you get done, I'll also know that you're done. See right here, email Mrs. Dingman when finished. So I'll also know you're done. But when you get back to school and you're with me in class, don't just sit there. Like actually say something and come show it to me so I can help you get those pieces either taped in there or whatever it is that you need done. All right. Okay, that's all I got. Good luck. See you later.